get this right. Yeah. Southern Cal hooking up with Northern Cal, nigga. Check this out.
I'm Daniel Ben Yaakov. To my left is Dawid Ben Israel, and to my right is Ariel. Today we're going to continue on in the Who is Esau series, and we'll be covering Amos chapter 1, verse 9, the brotherly covenant. We're going to show you exactly who this brotherly covenant was made with. We're going to show you what parties were involved. We're going to clear up some things out there because there's been other brothers out there in Texas, to be exact, Man Up Israel, who claim that we're teaching this wrong. You know, they made all these clips showing how we don't know who the brotherly covenant was made between, and they assume that this brotherly covenant was between the Edomites and Israelites. We're going to show you how that's false. As a matter of fact, let's just cut into that. Get Deuteronomy 23. I want you to read verse 7. This is a law that was brought out.
Deuteronomy 23 and 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. And thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. Okay, this is one of the 613 laws of Yahweh. This is part of the covenant that he made with his people. This is not a covenant between Edomites and Israelites. This is just a law that's being brought out. Alright, so that's not a brotherly covenant right there. Okay, let's go to Amos chapter 1, verse 9. We're going to find out who this brotherly covenant was made with. Go ahead. Amos chapter 1, verse 9. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not return away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remember not the brotherly covenant. Okay, Tyrus delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and that word captivity means exiles. Tyrus, remember not the brotherly covenant. Ariel, can you give me a definition for the word translated covenant?
Covenant is Hebrew word 1285, berit. It means covenant, treaty, agreement between 2 parties, a league, a confederacy, and as a second definition, a pledge, a binding oath or promise.
Okay, so remember that Hebrew word, 1285, covenant. Alright, so read verse 9 again.
Verse 9. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remember not the brotherly covenant.
So they, meaning the people of Tyrus, remember not the brotherly covenant. Now let's find out if in fact these people made a brotherly covenant with Israel. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 5, and I want you to read verse 12.
1 Kings chapter 5 and verse 12. And Yahweh gave Solomon wisdom as he promised him, and there was a peace between Hiram and Solomon.
So there was a peace between Hiram and Solomon. Now this peace that they had, was that just between those two? Hiram was the leader of his nation. Solomon was the leader of his nation. These 2 men represented their kingdoms. Read on.
Hiram and Solomon, and they 2 made a league together.
Those 2 made a league together. Ariel, what is the word translated league in 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 12?
Yeah, that's the same word, 1285.
1285. It means covenant, league, agreement. All right? You wanted proof from the scriptures, you got proof from the scriptures. Let's show some more proof. Because you also stated that no other nation beside the nation of Edom were considered brothers or were brotherly towards us. We're going to prove you wrong on that. You ask for proof and you're going to get proof. Get me 1 Kings chapter 9. I want you to read verses 11 through 13. See, we're not going to dance around questions. We're going to answer questions straight on. You know what? And I respect you, brothers, for actually trying to bring out technical aspects of Scripture. Unlike your teachers who avoid things and switch topics. But you know, I respect you. You took a shot and you missed. But at least you tried. You get an A for effort.
1 Kings chapter 9 and verse 11. Now Hiram, the king of Tyre, had furnished Solomon with cedar trees and fir trees, and with gold according to all his desire. And then King Solomon gave Hiram 20 cities in the land of Galilee. Verse 12. And Hiram came out from Tyre to see the cities which Solomon had given him, and they pleased him not. Verse 13. And he said, What cities are these which thou hast given me? My brother.
My who?
My brother.
He called Solomon his brother. Read on.
And he called them the land of Kabul unto this day.
So you can see that those two had a brotherly covenant. They were the representatives of their nations, the leaders of their nations. If the two leaders had a covenant, then the whole nation, those two nations, had a covenant with each other. That's how it's done in the world. Leaders go to other nations and make agreements. They make agreements of peace. Therefore, if those two leaders have an agreement of peace, the nation has an agreement of peace. And they are to adhere to the agreement that was made between their leaders. That is easy to understand. All right, so we've proven that. That's gone, that's out of the way. It doesn't take 6 video clips of vain jangling and carrying on to get this point out. All right, now let's move on to the next topic. You also addressed us concerning Obadiah, assuming that it has not come to pass, claiming that we don't know what we're talking about. Obviously, you did not pay attention to the videos that we put up on the book of Obadiah. All right, let's go to Obadiah. Let's start at verse 19.
Verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain the Philistines. And they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead.
Hold up. It says here, Benjamin shall possess Gilead. Now, if you know the scriptures and do research, you will find out that the area of Gilead is not an inheritance for the tribe of Benjamin. The tribe of Gad dwelt in Gilead. So, but during this time that we're speaking of, that Obadiah is speaking of, is not a time where all tribes are gathered back in the land of Israel. So the only ones who were able to possess anything during that time were Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the southern kingdom. All right, that should be clear to you.